I'm presenting just a little snapshot because I was told I had 5 minutes. So they say 5 minutes, 5 slides. I actually had 9, but I'm going to do it really fast. So this is a study that was funded by the Canadian Institute of Health Research, Aboriginal People's Health. And the study's finished now, and we've actually been doing quite a lot around trying to get this material out there. This is a partnership project. You can see a huge partner group, Vancouver Native Health, Vancouver Coastal Health, UBC, Family Practice, just a whole lot of people, Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal researchers, community members. There's also an Aboriginal advisory team for this project. The relationships in this project are long-standing. Some of the relationships actually are 10-year relationships involved in research together. So anyway, I'm just highlighting a few of the things that happened that were around, particularly around methadone. So a lot of the people that were interviewed, they were Aboriginal participants, male and female, from 5 different sites around the city. A lot of people from this area as well. And there were providers in those areas, and we did in-depth individual interviews, focus group interviews, and we also did looked at policies, etc., that were being taken up in those settings. So this quote on the side here is from an Aboriginal participant, a woman, and she says, "Within the system there are some prejudiced people in there, and I try not to get too mad with them when I find out that they're prejudiced. They don't like natives and they don't like drug addicts." And we found this a lot, that people had this sense that they didn't even know why they were treated badly. Was it because they were native? Was it because they used drugs? Was it because they had a mental illness? Was it because they were HIV positive? This question was always in people's minds. So people's experiences are not generally shaped by one thing. They're shaped by multiple things. And then having stigma, to deal with stigma and discrimination, was pretty horrendous for people. This is very common. So I'm just giving you the most common themes. Constrained lives. A healthcare professional speaks to this issue. The healthcare professional says, how can you travel with a drug habit, a raging drug habit? Try and get that methadone. It would be a nightmare to try and get that. Some doctor in another province or something, or in another community to prescribe it. Good luck. Try and navigate that whole thing on your own. And we already just heard someone speak to this issue. Everyday practices. So this is about the housing issue, and this was a huge issue that came up over and over again in this study. There must be something wrong with me. I won't go shower. I take sponge baths in my room. The hotel is so scummy. We share a bathroom, like if it's catchable. Now this was a person who was also very ill. She was HIV positive. She was very sick at that time, and she was scared that she was really actually going to catch something where she lived. Power. So we all know this one, and this is the issue of, this is from a healthcare professional. I mean, look at the methadone scene. I mean, these drugs started to pop up all over, not because they care for the people, but because there is money. Now, this professional wasn't suggesting there aren't lots of caring professionals out there, but there are people who use power in the wrong ways, and this needs to be addressed within systems of care. And you probably saw this CBC News piece about the pharmacies that use kickbacks for a period of time. So, and this has already been spoken to as well by your group. So now I'm just going to close with things that people said that were great. And you know, this is going to sound like, oh, well, everybody knows this, but if everyone knew this, we'd be living in a system like this all the time.
Yeah. Here, here.
So it is, I know she cares because she gets mad at me if she finds out I'm doing something wrong. So that's what I call a true friend. And this person's speaking about a relationship with her doctor, that she actually really has a close relationship with her. Doctor tells her, and they're honest with each other, and they have a good relationship. It was important to this person, not rocket science. I like it when she asked me about my traditional practices. They're very important to me. So people wanted to be understood that people have differences and people have different ways of thinking about healing, etc. And that this was very important. Again, not rocket science. And lastly, I really love this one because everywhere I went, somebody spoke about a pharmacist who actually really takes people seriously, and he really thinks a lot about the kinds of things people have to deal with in their everyday lives. So he said, like myself, I've been missing my appointments for umpteen times now. So now the pharmacist got involved, and they're going to drive me. They're going to pick me up and take me to my appointments there. And so people spoke quite emphatically about this person and a number of people like this who actually took extra time to help them out when they really needed help. So I'm just presenting, these are just little snapshots because I was told I had 5 minutes. How did I do?
Very well.
Okay. So I'd love to tell you the whole story, and if anyone's interested, I'm so happy to give out our report when our report is ready, because we're writing it right now. So thank you very much.